31-24. Florida State finally takes back what was theirs. That is the conference. That is their identity. And that is kind of the very DNA of what this program was. And it was always slapping around the pukes in the orange and the white. My God, it was not without its drama. We will talk about it. But Adam, I just want to say for my people on video that this conference belongs again to the big dogs. My God, what an emotional dump, a roller coaster. I want to talk about the game. We'll get into the finer points of what was and wasn't working, but my God, when you needed the response, both offensively at the very end with your superstar receiver with a great throw, converting when it mattered most on a pass concept that had been a little spotty for you in the second half. But my God, when you needed it, they went down, they had the ball first. Your defense, 3rd and 2. And guess what did it for you on that third down? Perimeter tackling. I thought that they adjusted very well in the second half, and situationally that defense kept Florida State in the game, especially with the explosive play with Caleb DeLoach. My God, what brother, one that will live in Florida State lore. And I tell you what, they did not play perfect, but going into that environment, which was hostile, with a Clemson team that I felt was starting to gel, especially defensively. They had a great game plan.
Yeah.
God-awful refs. Just disgusting. Disgusting performance from the referees. I don't even care we won, but we can probably get into it. They overcame all of that and did what they said and what everyone expected them to do. Keon Coleman, how many emojis are we tweeting out this week? Guess what, bro? It don't matter. The Noles are on top of the conference. We got a week to just kind of marinate on it. But my God, Adam, what did you think? That's a winning. They won. They're winners. It's a different program. It's a winning performance.
I don't know where to start because it felt so negative the entire game. And it was just like, you could just kind of, like I said in my score prediction, like, you're just going to have to stay patient. Like, this is not a game Clemson's going to give you. They're not going to go out there and throw this thing away. They've been playing better. I know that everybody has attached themselves to that Duke outcome when kind of describing what Clemson is. They're not going anywhere. Dabo's too good. And you went in there and you took it from them. They didn't give it to you. You went in there and you earned it. You earned it with resolve. You earned it with toughness. I said last week that there's an identity problem with this team. I still think there is as far as like the offense, but when it comes to just playing football, the identity is clearly they're going to be tough as hell. And they went out there and they fought through a lot. They fought through some piss poor officiating. They fought through some piss poor play. They fought through a team, a raucous crowd that showed up. And I mean, you knew they were going to, but they went and battled through that. And they battled through legit emotions early in the game when I thought that they maybe had a chance in the first half to get some more points when they were playing a little bit better offensively. Thought the emotions, they were really tight. So they fought through that too. It's going to be positive vibes only for me today. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about negatives. You just went and beat Clemson and Clemson. Like, F all the noise. I can't, we'll talk about it on, we'll talk about it on film review. Like, I don't need to see fire Adam Fuller at the end of the year in the
chat. Oh my God, like, dude, get that out of here. Get that out of here with that second half performance. Listen, yeah, I get it. There are things to clean up with inside releases, plays over the middle. I get that. That first half, a lot of busts. Dude, I cannot believe that is the first thing out of anybody's mouth. After that second half performance, you held them to 7 points.
And you scored seven.
The defense tied Clemson's offense, and that's what we're going through. And it was in well-executed blitz. Adam Fuller, you could tell, changed what he was doing in the second half and got after Klubnik, and it really made a difference. So you want to talk about that. That's a mistake. Holding any modern college football offense, particularly one that was really well coached today, I thought, by Garrett Riley on the Clemson side of the ball. That's a win, dude. Your defense kept you in that game.
They had a great plan.
In the game.
You know, the critique for me always with Adam Fuller is, you know what you're going to get out of him. You know what they're going to line up and do, snap in and snap out. And Garrett Riley took advantage of that in the second half, in the first half, and he couldn't in the second half. They couldn't. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of that is because they just started winning one-on-ones. Like, I think the secondary started realizing, hey, we can play physical too. We're allowed to. Clemson clearly is going to be allowed to, so we're going to try that. They did. So you saw the slants go away. You saw them adjust, and they took Will Shipley out of the passing game in the second half, which was amazing because they were finding ways to ISO him on some of their banjo switches in the first half. They did a great job with that. Like, there's plenty to be frustrated with. I understand. I know everybody's frustrated with some of the stuff that went on. I get it. This game played out the way it really ultimately should have. Vegas told you it was a 2.5 point game. I had a 7 point win. 30. I think I picked 31-24. I think
big man
might have hit it right on the head for once. After last week's it getting thrown in my face, or no, last week getting thrown in my face, or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember what it was, but
who knows, dude? I'm all discombobulated, right?
So we know that this team is flawed. We know that, but you still went and beat a really good Clemson team on the road, and you probably knocked them out of ACC contention, which is even bigger because now you don't have to. If you do what you're supposed to do, which you're in control of your destiny in the ACC, you do what you're supposed to do. You don't have to go play them again, which means you don't have to go play the second best team in the conference again on a neutral site at the end of the year, which I think that's big.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive. And I think that this game felt more of like when we talked about our win shares from the beginning of the year, I think we all chalked this down as a loss. Now, after week one, some of those expectations shifted, but Clemson is gelling into, I think this is much more representative of what they're going to be for the rest of the year. I don't know how many more games that they're going to lose. And you took it to them in their own place, man. And I swear to God, this is reality, right? No matter how much the ACC refereeing crew makes me think otherwise multiple times, in reality, oftentimes feels scripted. I swear to God, I thought that Enterprise Rent-A-Car Manager kicker that they got off this week, I was telling my wife, I go, it's over. This guy that they pulled off from making sandwiches at Quiznos is going to just drive a nail through my heart. And he missed it. And Florida State wins the game. Now, I think if you want to start, we can talk about halves of the ball. I'm with you. Philosophically on offense, I think that we need to get ironed out what type of team this is. Culturally, tough as nails.
I think they're starting to figure some stuff out there. I don't know if Jeremiah Byers got hurt, but you saw Darius Washington in at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to start seeing some personnel changes on offense as we go forward here and start getting back to some guys that know what they're doing out there. Jeremiah is a talented player, but we just haven't seen him put together as far as what he's supposed to be doing at all times. I don't know if he got hurt. I honestly, I get so entrenched in the game. I missed that he wasn't even on the field and Darius came in. They've got there's a lot to fix. We're going to talk about positives. The positives are Keon Coleman made a hell of a play there at the end of the game. Fought through a lot of contact throughout the game and made the play when it mattered. Johnny Wilson kept continuing to battle. I can't believe they didn't call that face mask driving down there at the end of the game. The kid clearly grabbed Destin Hill by the face mask. They blew that. You think Dabo maybe wishes he had used the portal for kicker?
I think so, because once that one Wiggins kid went out, man, that was lights out. That was lights out for Keon. I
want to say this too, like while you collect your thoughts. Dabo, there was a time I think that Dabo hated Mike Norvell, and I think Mike's earned his respect a lot. And maybe that doesn't mean anything to people like Dabo. I know everybody thinks Dabo's a dweeb and all that stuff, and he is,
big time.
He is, but he's one of the best coaches of what's going on right now. You can't deny that. You can't take that from him, what he's built, what he's done. And stubbornly, maybe he's impacting that right now. Maybe we'll see. I mean, I think you can certainly argue that he is, but he's still one of the best coaches of the 2010s and into the 20s. Like, there's no denying that. You can't take that from him. and to go and earn his respect by doing the thing, by building your program up the way you're supposed to, by doing the little things, doing the right things, building it, not building some of this nonsense that you see out there now. I think that speaks volumes that Mike's been able to go out there and kind of win his respect on the field. I thought that interaction after the game was very genuine, I thought Dabo was like, hey, man, good on you. You've done what you needed to do with that place and gotten it back where it belongs.
Yeah, unlike that dude in the white hat behind Norvell during the interview, just shaky McGee. Yeah, that was great. Get that dork out of there. Yeah, like Dabo don't got a poker face, dude.
No,
You're gonna see it, and there was genuine respect, and it's because Mike Norvell coaches a tough football team. They were tough today. The hits they were laying down, Tatum Bethune stuff. The running game didn't necessarily get there, but okay, let's talk about offense. Let's talk about the actual play. The surrounding impact and implications of this are massive. You got this monkey off your back. You climbed over a hill. This was a legitimate hill for Mike Norvell, his players, the program, fans. It felt like if you didn't get it done this year, when was it going to happen? And they did it on the road. I don't want to face him again. So let's talk about the offense. What do you think of the initial game plan? Where do you think they got gummed up a little bit? And I kind of started to feel a switch into what they were doing as far as like going more empty, spreading them out on that. It was around that second scoring drive, that 75-yarder. What did you think, Adam?
Mike Norvell wants to run the football. That's what he's built offenses on. He is I don't want to call him obsessed, but he feels obsessed with running the football. So they ran the ball 18 times today. They threw it 39 times. I think you're right. I thought middle of the second quarter, he realized we're not running the ball. And I think a lot of people were frustrated. They kept running the ball on second down. It was second and long quite a bit. They kept running the ball.
Yeah.
Those play calls are oftentimes you're trying to set yourself up for a more successful third down and then a fourth down opportunity. You're also setting up, you're also building habits that you're hoping to get play calls later on in the game that you can get shot plays off of play action or whatnot. So those play calls aren't always, sometimes they're a wash. You're hoping to bust one. But I think that they're trying to stay patient with it there, but they're also trying to stay patient with the game flow.
Yes.
You're in a close game. You're not getting blown out. I think, for the most part, you're not going to be able to run the ball against that defense, but they're just staying patient with it, trying to make sure that they're giving themselves opportunities later in the game to be able to call play action because you've run it 6 times in a row on second down. You're setting the defense up, those types of things. And you're also trying to give yourselves a manageable third down. I've got game on paper pulled up here.
Okay.
So they ran the ball. They ran the ball 18 times for 31 yards. I mean, that's pathetic. That's bad. And I've been saying it for a couple weeks now that the run game's a problem. It hasn't improved.
Look at the EPA, Adam. Minus 3.43 every single time they ran the ball. And I will say it's indicative. I think a lot of it's indicative of the quality of that Clemson defense. They're very well coordinated. Their linebackers are phenomenal. I thought that they were going to you could tell they wanted to get isolations with their running backs and Jaheim Bell and like the tight ends and things like that, which in any other situation would be a mismatch for Florida State. It was a stalemate, if not advantage to the Clemson linebackers. So that's a phenomenal unit. And their defensive line got Jordan Travis. I want to say, while at the end of the game, and we're going to study it on film, whether it's a function of play calling or maybe a function of getting into habits that we talked about before, comfortable as far as vertical shot after vertical shot, sideline plays. And it won him the game in overtime. What an absolutely warrior performance, dude. He went out there. You could clearly hurt. Tough fourth down run. He probably didn't run it as much as we maybe expected. I wasn't expecting him to honestly be as dinged up and get his hit as much as he was. So what an absolutely warrior performance, no turnovers, and he put the ball exactly where he needed to be when it counted. He's a winner, and I'm glad to have him as a quarterback at Florida State University. There's stuff to work out, but dude, you don't got to work it out against a defense like Clemson, and you got a bye week to just you get a bye week to put some ice on it, man. Great performance. I'm going to say great performance.
I think this is solid. Clemson, they were going to run the ball. They were 30, ran at 30, 38, threw it 40 times. I thought you did a pretty good job against their run game, against their base run game. Clement got a couple. They got a couple throughout the
second half. They
Yeah,
got you in a good
they hit a
spot in
couple.
the second half.
They hit a couple counter runs in the second half where they kind of they figured out some of your angles, and Florida State did a good job of adjusting to it. They were able to get safeties down on it a little bit more and a little bit faster, but they were able to get a couple chunk runs in the second half. But I thought for the most part, you handled their run game well. Like Shipley just didn't go off. He's going to get his. He's going to find opportunities. He's going to be successful in a game, but he didn't go off. Do you have his numbers? Do you have his total numbers?
Yeah, let's see. So in the running game, he was 18 for 67. So it's about 3.7. That's pretty pedestrian for a guy that good. Only along to 16.
Hold on. What is
Maffa was 10 for 69. A lot of that is indicative of that long play that he had. Yeah. Receiving 4 for 38. So I mean
that's having a day against
105 total yards rushing and receiving for the guy that is the engine of their offense. Now Clemson's receivers played better than I expected. I think that tightened up once you said Adam in the second half with some philosophical shifts from the defensive coordinator and the way
they also made a couple tough plays. Like they also just made a couple. Really
for sure.
The Brown kid played really well. He's obviously super talented. He's going to be a player for them. The Stella kid, I think, also Troy Stella is going to be a good player for them down the road. Those are two freshmen that were pretty regarded coming out. So I think you're going to expect some stuff out of them. But the other guys, I mean, you kept the Burning Stool kid in check for the most part. Randall and Collins, those are the guys that played the majority of the snaps. You held them in check for the majority of the game, and you didn't let them do anything stupid. Like they didn't get the stupid trick play. They dominated the 50-50 plays all day long.
Yeah.
You went out and won this football game because you forced a fumble for a touchdown and they missed a kick. I mean, in the end, like Florida State had no business winning this game. Like realistically,
we'll see. It felt like numbers,
it. Just looking at it, like look at the win probability here. Holy crap. Nearly it's over almost like 80%. And then it goes to 80% again. But I mean, that's why you play the game. You don't play it on paper. You play it on the field. And ultimately, Dabo's mistakes were not having a kicker for whatever reason. And bringing it, it's a cool story, and they talked about it all game long. But you didn't go out and get a dude that you didn't go out and get a legitimate kicker that you could rely on. You brought a dude that was your walk-on last year, and he wasn't your starter, and you brought him back this week. Like that's a fatal flaw as a coach. So
it's a weird aw shucks. It's like, dude, you went for the story over you knew you got some close games. Like you're coaching for your life, dude. You barfed up one against Duke that you should not have with the quality of this team. It's just an odd decision, and one that I'm sure is being just absolutely excoriated on the Tiger Paw cast. And I mean, dude, you can make fun of the kid you want. He shouldn't have been in that situation. I mean, it ain't his fault, but I think it's just that win probability chart that you pulled up, Adam. That's the Mike Norvell DNA culture, dude. Stop. Yep. I'm going to put you in uncomfortable situations, and are you going to respond? And they did over and over. A play when they needed it to keep them in the game. What a statement of what Florida State football is under this coach, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's just toughness. I mean, it is just toughness. And I mean, the first half was just insane. It was crazy. But then it was like at halftime it's 17-14. And I think I said to you guys in our text thread, it's like, it feels like LSU. Like it really does.
Yeah.
I didn't think the offense was going to take off like they did against LSU, but it felt like LSU. It just felt like you were going to find a way to go win the football game in the second half. The script was already written for you. You survived first half in their place in a hostile environment. It's down 17-14. Your offense has started to show a little bit of life late. You knew they were going to go in and make some adjustments. They were going to go in and clean some of their exchanges up defensively. They were having a lot of trouble. They were just bailing on some of those choice routes by the running back where they were getting switches onto the corner and some of their zone stuff. So you knew they were going to go up and clean some of that stuff up. And that's really where Clemson was having success. That and just some junk plays. They weren't running the ball that well. They were just kind of getting some of that BS. You were able to go in and clean that up. You just said, screw it. We're going to bring the pressure. Like if we're going to play man coverage out here, we're going to not trust these receivers. Let's just not trust them. And let's bring the house. They sped Klubnik up like crazy. We saw Fuller go to that late in the game against BC. He's now going to it again in the second half of this game. Like it seems like that's his fail safe right now is we're just going to bring pressure like crazy when we need to. And you sped the game up for Clemson's offense. You made them uncomfortable. You went and got the forced fumble the forced fumble for a touchdown.
And you forced it. It was forced.
You just took them out of rhythm ultimately.
Yeah, I like it. It was a good adjustment. One thing before we talk maybe more about the defense, since we focused on the offense.
Yeah.
I mean, the wide receivers, dude. Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, great catch on the sideline from Johnny Wilson, dude. He's really bounced back from game 2. Keon Coleman, he's anytime you go his way, that's a great decision. I want to talk about the offense. We've talked a lot about Mike Norvell's versatility, like year to year. You think of those Memphis teams when he didn't necessarily have a good quarterback and a great running back, like the Darrell Henderson years. He would run it down your throat, can kind of switch and adapt towards his personnel. Have we ever seen a Mike Norvell adapt to a completely air-based offense? I think, what do we think of this offensive line's performance? Is this maybe an aberration against a very talented defensive line? We're 4 games in, though, and I challenge you to, besides USM, I challenge you to think of a game where they ran the ball effectively. Now, I'm not saying you can't abandon the run, but I think you're going to have to be more creative. But, I mean, is it time for Florida State maybe to consider, hey, the strength of your team is those receivers. Let's get a little bit more diverse in the route tree and air it out.
If they're not gonna expand off their counter package, like if you're not gonna include Jordan Travis in that run, I apologize. We got kids screaming in the background.
Oh, they're stoked, brother.
Yeah, they're stoked. All right, yeah, beating each other up. If you're not gonna start running Jordan, like, if you're not going to include him and you're not going to do some design runs with him and stuff like that, I think you're going to have to get into more of your empty packages. You're going to have to do more with your passing game, and you're going to have to become more 60, 40, 70, 30 passing to run. And you're going to have to start building that passing game out a little bit. It just can't be 50-50 balls. And I know that it's not. There's more stuff there. Jordan's trusting his playmakers in their one-on-one situations, but the running game seems lost. Mike was really defensive of it this week in the presser when Chris Nee kind of asked him about bread and butter plays. What are they hanging their hat on right now on offense? It feels like a 50-50 ball, and I don't want to go negative. We're going to look at it in the film review, so I don't want to go after it too much. But it just, again, I just don't know where the identity is, and that's a really good defense. That defense is legit. It's the best one you've played. It's the best one you're going to play. There's no denying that. But I don't know. They've got to look at it and make a decision on what the hell they're going to be.
The talents, you got the talent at the slot to do some damage and even make those vertical passing routes more deadly.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I mean, you're 4-0. They're doing what they're doing. We thought that these first 4 games, nobody preseason predicted a 4-0 stretch. Not when you played LSU and Clemson, dude. You did what you needed to do and then some. You are in the conversation. You are a college football playoff contender with the toughest part out your back window. Now you got some other, the back half of the schedule looks a little bit more difficult than we thought preseason too. But you did your job, man. So we'll see how much that they do shift. But I mean, do we expect Florida State to have the personnel to be able to run against good defenses later in the year?
Yeah, I
From
think
what
so.
you've seen, you still do.
I think so. I mean, that run game's good. They're just not going to be what they were last year. Which maybe that was some fool's gold in there. I don't know.
Could have been.
They're not going to be like you can just line up and just absolutely dominate a team. Now, not in the games that matter anyway. Maybe against Virginia Tech, you cannot. We'll see. I haven't even looked at Virginia Tech. I don't know what they've got. But the nice part is you got a bye week now, so you survive. I believe, right? I thought after this game.
I need a bye week, dude. I need a bye week and a shower, brother. I can't be going through any of those. I'm mid-30s going on like 55, dude. My ticker is that
the nice part is you've got a bye now. You started 4-0. You've beaten the 2 teams that you needed to go beat. Everybody circled them on your schedule. You circled them on your schedule. So you're 4-0. You're 2-0 in those games. You're in complete control of your destiny. You've got a bye to take a breath and get back. You self-scout.
Yep.
That's the thing that people forget about. You've got an opportunity to go self-scout right now. You can go look at what's going on. You can go break it down. You can look at your personnel clip by clip, game by game, frame by frame, and make your decisions as you go forward. And you can start to not rebuild your offense, but figure out what's going to work. What are we keeping? What are we getting rid of? And that's going to be vital for them. They've got 14 days now to kind of figure it out. Where do they go? Are they now the ball's in Jordan Travis's hands, air raid? Not that they're going to be an air raid, but
in more
passing
empty
the ball,
sets,
throwing the ball, like really spreading teams out and throwing the football. Or are they going to stick with what they are? I think they're going to stick with it, but I think you're going to see some expansion of that run game.
They're going to help it out. No matter what direction they go, whether it's kind of more of the same, they have some time now to find a way to make everything life easier for their playmakers. And man, they got some good ones, dude. Number 4, Keon County, my man. Let's talk about the defense. I thought it was a really good bounce back defensive line effort compared to last week. They in the first half, Klubnik had a little bit too much time. I thought they kind of dialed that up. They helped them out, like we talked about last week, with some of those pressures. I don't know if Jared Verse got a sack, but he made his impact felt through screwing up the timing of that one. I don't know. I don't want to call it a gimmick pass, but he was right in Klubnik's face. Some tackles for loss. I thought Peyton had a bounce back game.
Backers played a lot better today.
The starting backers looked
Backers played a lot better.
I thought that they looked great.
Yeah, Omar Graham looked lost on the one Shipley touchdown late in the second quarter. But other than that, I thought he played okay. He is what he is. He's a young player that's maybe not the most athletic, and he's kind of figuring his game out. But backers got a little more depth in drops. They were able to help out a little bit more. The D-line wasn't winning one-on-ones in the first half, but they were doing a good job of controlling the run game. They were keeping Clemson in situations that were not just easy go, in complete control in the first half. And I thought that was important. You showed that you could go out there and establish a run defense, which they've been able to do in every game, and they continue to do. And they were able to do it with 6 in the box, which is nice. They were rolling safeties down sometimes. I thought they were playing a little bit of cover. They mixed some cover 3 in. Or maybe it was their quarters. We'll have to look at it.
Got to look, dude.
When we rewatch, there's so much going through my head right now.
I know it's hard to get it. It's hard to get it into a train of thought.
They were able to establish that they could stop the run with 6 in the box, with a safety rolling down sometimes late, which is important. You knew that you had to stop this run game. You haven't stopped it since Will Shipley's been there, and you haven't stopped it in 7 years. You went out there and you established that they're not going to get free yards in a run game. They got a couple on you, but nothing crazy. That was important. I
agree. And Adam, go ahead.
No, well, your secondary adjusted kind of as the game went on. They started. I thought they started looking more comfortable, like realizing, okay, we can play physical. We can put our hands on these guys. I thought that was good. That was a good sign. I want to see them be more physical, start football games. And if you get called, then adjust back. Don't have to wait till the halftime to adjust forward.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Ultimately, everybody was firing at him full at halftime, and he goes out and gives up 7 points in the second half. Couple short drives for Clemson. You call the pressure that gets the turnover for score. Like, you get to stop in overtime. Did anybody think they were going to get that stop there?
No. On 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, right? Yeah. Like that's the situation, dude. That's a death knell for especially the type of offense that Clemson has, where they are a high success rate. Your defense gave you the privilege of playing in overtime. Your defense won you the privilege of not losing that game. And now your offense, they stuck and they twisted it right off in Dabo's little dorky face. But the defense gave you the privilege to do that and have him collapse in a catatonic state on the sideline, which made me super happy. I'm a bad guy, though. As far as the linebacker play, ripped him last week justifiably. I maybe could have even gone in even worse. Out of all the teams on your schedule, does any opposing offense put more stress on the linebackers than like Clemson, just with the way that they play and the type of running backs that they have and the athleticism of the quarterback? If not, it's got to be in that top quartile, and they responded very well on the road.
I think Miami's going to test your backers. Duke's going to test them, and Florida's going to test them. So, those are your 3 games that are left that I think you're going to need them. I'm going to tell you right now, Tatum Bethune was a bad man today.
Oh,
that dude, he comes at you with purpose. Whew. He comes at you with some real purpose, and he just seems to be in the right spot. Kalen played really well. DJ's playing well. Omar's kind of coming along, but they just need to keep giving him shots. You don't need him in on the goal line. I wish
No,
they would
they're
tighten
gonna.
that rotation up sometimes. I wish they would look at that and tighten those rotations up. But they trust the kid, and ultimately, if they trust him, I mean, they're going to put him out there. Just hats off to Kevin Knowles. He was a major liability last week. Not so much today. He had a couple tackles. He's not the greatest tackler in the world, but he was in the right spot. He seemed to be getting guys lined up, getting guys into the right checks throughout the game in the secondary, which was important. I think it's important. I think it's worth giving him a shout out there. Renardo Green is a bad dude.
Physical, dude. I
dude.
love physical presence.
He won that game for you in overtime. I mean, that tackle out there on the edge, that should have been 6. Should have been 6. You were matched up, but they had blockers. I mean,
that's a winning football play, dude. It's a winning football play from a team that we criticized for softness on the perimeter. And they won it with perimeter tackling. It's so encouraging, dude. It's so encouraging because no matter how good you're playing, winning in that environment, dude, they haven't lost an ACC game in that stadium since 2016.
Yeah, I know.
Since 2016. You had all the demons, all the ghosts. You had all the opportunities to barf it up all over yourself because history says that for us, but for any team going into that environment, and you ripped it out of their throat. You ripped it from them. You ripped it from their grasp, dude. So encouraging. I cannot wait to look at the film review, and I can't wait to build on it. It was great. It was great. I don't think I have any other final thoughts other than, guys, you survive a nooner like that, a nooner overtime win against like a team that has just had your number forever. If your wife's watching this, hopefully she's not. Get drunk, dude. Get drunk on some Chattanooga whiskey, sell your house and make a profit, and play some football coach college dynasty and donate to the Battle's End so we can keep getting people like Keon Coleman on this team.
Amen.
And soak it up, dude. Soak it up and enjoy being a Florida State fan because, God darn it, it's been
about 2 weeks. Talk your shit.
We've earned it. We've earned it, dude. Yeah, drop the nuts, dude. Sam Cassell. It's just, I love it. I love you guys. We love our subscribers, and doesn't feel like it sometimes with this team because of the stress, but I love watching a Mike Norvell coach team play. Adam, any final thoughts?
Brother. No, that's it. I want to go see my kids. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all.
I want to go lay down.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to go have a heart attack and my head explode. All right, see you guys.
Keep chopping. Keep chopping. Love you.